So apparently I'm like a clean girl now. Hi, today I'm going to be showing you my everyday makeup, which is the best everyday makeup I have ever had. It is the quickest. It is, I think, the most flattering, the most natural looking, the glowiest, the most complimented. I think I have finally found my perfect everyday makeup routine. So I'm finally going to share it with you, all of the products, my skin prep, everything. We're going to do everything today. But the overriding kind of theme is that I've just pulled it right back. I've stripped it down and I'm absolutely loving it, honestly. Buckle in, let's get ready together. Let me show you how I've been doing my everyday makeup. It is very clean girl aesthetic. Can't lie, but I love it and you guys are loving it too, so let's get on with it. Let's zoom you in, chicken. So before I prep the skin, I start with my eyebrows because I have gone back to using soap. Ever since that video where I use products that I never use anymore, I have literally just gone back to soap. There is something in my eye. Get out of my eye. Ugh. There we go. I've just gone back to the soap. The soap life is for me, I love it. So I just use a bit of setting spray, my spoolie, give it a scrush, little scrush. I don't use too much water so that the consistency stays nice and thick. And then initially you just brush it through your brow, make sure that you coat all the hairs. And then I just kind of keep going over them until I feel it starting to get tacky. And that's when you start to shape them. So a big change with my brows is I started shaving off the tail, which you can probably see. So this here is actually shaved. I have microblading. You can see where my brow tattoo still is. So I actually have to cover that with concealer now because I have started drawing my brows up higher. My natural brow, now that it's been shaved, ends here, which is kind of where I finish the tail. And it adds like a crazy amount of lift because this would just drag my face down. So I brush the hairs kind of up and back to start making the shape where I would want the natural tail. So these end hairs I pull like straight out as if that's where the end of my brow would be. And then these front hairs I just brush up and over. Brows are very much personal to you. However you like to do your brows, you do your brows. Whatever best suits you. The fluffy brow life isn't for everyone. Not everyone's gonna wanna shave their brow. You know, do what suits you best. So we're pulling straight out and my brows are not symmetrical at all. This one is completely different to this one. So I have to kind of maneuver the hairs to try and make it a similar shape. They need a trim though. I've got like one freakishly long hair. Now the brows are shaped, I'm gonna do the skincare, which is probably one of the most important steps of my makeup routine now. The base really does come down to how I'm prepping my skin and all of the like lovely juicy products I'm putting on before I put on any makeup, which is really changing the way my makeup looks. So I start with the Fresh Rose Hydration Toner. I love this stuff. I use it every day and it lasts me for ages. I literally just put a couple of little bloop bloops on my hand and I just press this into the skin as a first layer of hydration, trying to avoid the brows because they aren't waterproof yet. And then I go in with my first layer of hydration and I use the Advanced SNAIL 96 MUCIN Power Essence. This I use in replacement of hyaluronic acid because a lot of moisturizers have hyaluronic acid in them, so you don't really need to use it as a separate serum. I use 3 pumps of this. And once you get over the fact that it's snail slime, like, it's fine. It's just a mind game. And I just apply this similarly to a hyaluronic acid when my skin is still damp so that it locks in that moisture. And I bring all of my products down my neck. Next is eye cream, which I never skip anymore. The L'Oreal Paris Revitalift Filler Hyaluronic Acid Eye Serum. I use this like I would a serum on my face. So I use this as well as a traditional eye cream. So I put this on at the same stage as where you would put like a hyaluronic acid serum because you go from thinnest to thickest product, and this is a very thin product and it's got these little balls, so I always kind of make sure to give myself a little bit of a massage under the eye. It feels really nice in the morning. Gently rub that in. And now, vitamin C. Sorry, this isn't me farting. My chair's really squeaky. I really need to get a new filming chair because this is so annoying. A new step that I never skip anymore is my Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Vitamin C Serum. So vitamin C brightens the skin, helps lift dark spots, and I use 2 pumps, rub it between my fingers and work it into the skin. This is gorgeous. It smells like oranges, which I love in the morning. It's so refreshing It's like freshly squeezed orange juice in the morning, you know? Massage this all over. And I just really love taking my time with my skincare. I'm actually breaking out a bit. It's that time of the month. My skin in general has been the best it's ever been. It is just getting better and better. I spoke about this in my monthly favorites, that I'm using the same products every single day. I'm being super consistent with it. And it is honestly just making a world of a difference to my skin texture, the evenness of it, the glow of it. Like, my skin's loving it. And taking a little bit of extra time in the morning for my skincare is removing the amount of time I'm spending on my makeup. So is it averaging out as probably the same amount of time? Maybe. But I can do my skincare like as soon as I wake up, and then when I need to go somewhere, I can do my makeup really quick, you know? Anyway, and then I go on to a traditional eye cream, an anti-aging eye cream, because your girl's turning 27 in December. What? What? Ah! This is the ACO Age Delay Eye Cream. If you're born in 1996 and you're not using your eye creams yet, this is your sign. I have a few that I like, but this one's probably one of my favorites just because of the ease of it. Having that little squirty tube rather than a pot just makes me so much more likely to use it. Just having it plop plop done rather than like unscrewing a pot. If a product is easy to use, I'm so much more likely to actually use it. This is super hydrating. It doesn't make my under eyes cake up or crease. It's just good. It's just good. Finally, probably one of my favorite products ever at the moment, the Hydra Visor from Fenty Beauty. It is a moisturizer that has SPF 30 in it. I take 3 pumps because you don't want to be holding back on your SPF. It smells really nice. It is super glowy and creamy and rich, and it is just the most divine moisturizer. It's probably my favorite moisturizer I've ever used. As soon as it runs out, I will be repurchasing it. It's also got a refillable bottle, so I just need to buy the refill, which makes it a little bit cheaper. Also, always bringing your SPF down your neck. If you're in the market for a moisturizer and you've never tried this, try it. It is gonna change your world. Oh, so good. I do actually use a separate SPF as well. So the two that I love are the Drunk Elephant Ombre Tint Physical Daily Defense Protective SPF, Protect and Glow. So this is a tinted sunscreen, or the Supergoop Glow Screen, which is a really dewy, glowy looking sun cream. So these are both perfect for when you're on holiday because it gives you a little bit of coverage, like more just a tint. It doesn't actually give you coverage, it just evens your skin tone. They give you a little bit of a glow, but they also give you SPF 30, both of them. Today I'm going to use the Drunk Elephant, and you can see it is slightly tinted. So if I rub it in, you can see it doesn't like actually really give you much coverage or much color, but it's nice because it just prevents any kind of white cast that you might potentially get from other sun creams. And if you're paler than me, it might give you a bit of warmth, but it is basically my skin tone. If your skin tone is deeper than mine, let me know how that looks on you. Like, is it just nice that it doesn't give you a white cast, or is it still a bit pale? I am interested to know. My skin is now prepped, protected, it's hydrated, it's got a lovely glow to it. Now it is ready for makeup, and I just feel like it already looks even. It's got somewhat of a glow to it. So I just feel like it's a better canvas that needs less makeup. So I have so many products that I've been loving that I basically just interchange. Which one do I feel like using today? I've been wearing this makeup even in like the evenings. If I'm gonna be wearing it in the evening, I would use a primer like the Milk Hydra Grip or the Oui Cherie from the Beauty Crop, something really sticky. But honestly, day to day, I've just not been wearing primer. I've just been using my skincare as my priming base and then just going in with my foundations or my products just on top of this, and it's been lasting fine. But if I'm going like out or somewhere sweaty or it's a really hot day, I would prime. A few of my favorites are, of course, the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, an absolute classic. I use this as my foundation all the time. Another one that I'm currently loving is the Be Perfect X Ekinsu Radiant Glow Luxurious Multi-Use Skin Perfector. I've recently spoken about my MAC Strobe Dewy Skin Tint, which I'm loving. Of course, my Project 10 Pan e.l.f. Halo Glow, which I do use every day because I'm trying to use it up. And then foundations, sometimes I'll wear a skin tint, sometimes I'll wear a foundation. It depends on the day. Most of the time though, I'm using 1 pump of my NARS Natural Radiant and mixing it in with other products because again, it's in my 10 pan and I want to use it up. So today I'm going to take 1 pump of my NARS. That's why it's going down so slowly, because I literally use 1 pump. I think I'm going to do a pump of each. This is unnecessary, but I'm going to do a pump of Ekinsu and a little squeeze of the MAC Strobe Dewy Skin Tint. And then I'm also going to take some of the e.l.f. just to use it so that I use it every day, and I'm just popping this right on the tops of the cheeks. My favorite place for glow now is my forehead. I love a glowy forehead. Those glowy products are just massively gonna sheer out the NARS foundation, but having the foundation in it just gives my skin that little bit of coverage. Love it. And I'm a foundation brush girly at the moment. This is the Real Techniques. I can't remember what it's called. It's an angled brush. I use this one or I use the NYX one, are my two favorites. They're like angled buffing brushes, so you can like really like press the product in. So I start by stamping. That Ekin product smells so nice. And then buffing to like really work it in. And then when it gets to the e.l.f., I don't add any product. I literally just use the e.l.f. on the tops of the cheeks because I don't need really any coverage on the tops of my cheekbones. So using the illuminator as the base adds the glow where you want it, but it also means you don't wear foundation there. And you can see it's just a gorgeous natural finish. You can still see breakouts, you can still see any pigmentation that I have, but it's just matched my face to my neck, and it's just giving me that coverage but also that gorgeous glow because of those glowy products. And I'm just going to reiterate, you don't have to mix together 3 foundations, just use one of them, but I'm just, you know, trying to use my collection. You'll get a similar effect just using one or the other. And then on my forehead, I barely put any foundation because again, my forehead is probably the area where I need the least coverage. I do have a spot there at the moment, but in general, my forehead is usually pretty clear, so I just use minimal product there. It's just about putting product where you actually need it. I think I used to just put on a full face of foundation because that's what you did, but actually using how much you need makes a real difference. And I don't really bring it under my eyes either, just to avoid building product up under there as well, because my under eyes do be creasy. I have 2 concealers that I go between. They're both on the more natural end of the coverage spectrum. The Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer in 3W and the Dior Skin Forever Correct in 2W are my 2 favorite concealers for my base. I'm gonna use the Dior today. It just depends which one I pick up. The packaging of the Dior is just so beautiful, so bougie. It is so thin, so lightweight, but just gives me enough coverage to kind of tone down any redness, but it's not like a super intense coverage. If I do need something intense, I will use it. Like if I've got a really kind of stubborn breakout, then yeah, I'll go in with something a bit heavier. But honestly, for day to day, I just don't really care that much. I just need something quick that just makes me look more put together. Under the eyes, my Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Almond. This is the newest addition to my 10 pan, so it's been the one I've been using every day. And it's quite a light colour, so I just use a super small amount, literally just under my eyes like that. And don't worry, I will come back and cover my microblading in a bit, but I do my brows first, you'll see. I let it sit for a little bit. It thickens the product and gives it more coverage, but it means I don't have to wear as much of it, if you know what I mean. And then this is when I use a beauty blender to blend my concealer, which also helps to pick up any excess product, as well as going over the foundation and blending out any potential brush strokes, which honestly, those brushes, because they're so dense, there's not really any brush strokes, but you know, just in case. And on my cheeks, like there's still a little bit of redness, still a little bit of discoloration showing through, but I think it's cute, honestly. This spot is kind of annoying, but I'm not even gonna go over it again. I'm just gonna let it be. And then under the eye, I use such a small amount of concealer under my eyes compared to what I used to, but it just helps it not crease. And it's a couple of shades lighter, so it adds some brightness, but it's not like a crazy bright concealer. But because I've let it sit, it's just like keeping the coverage where I want it rather than just blending all over my face. And sometimes I'll go over my lids, sometimes I won't. It depends if I want to wear like eyeshadow or not. If I'm going for like a super natural day, I won't put anything on my lids. I don't mind the natural shade on my lids. Just looks like natural eyeshadow. You already know my Fenty Cream Bronzer. It's my favorite at the moment. Obviously with Project 10 Pan, I'm using it up. So I take it on a little domed, dense brush. And this is what I use to contour. And I don't contour half as much or go half as heavy as I once did. We're going light layers, a light little snatch. And I blend it into where I blended up that concealer. And I just do patting motions, so I don't disrupt the product underneath. And this is like my bronzer and contour in one. And then I also just contour my nose with it as well. I just use the same brush and pinch it because we want this to be quick. quick, minimal tools. It's now time to conceal my microblading. So I take the NARS Pot Concealer in the shade Cafe Con Leche. We just use a concealer that matches our skin tone, but that is full coverage. Covering a tattoo is kind of a bitch. And I just tap it where I need the most coverage, right on where the actual tattoo is. And then I kind of draw a bit of a line to help me map out where I'm going to be drawing on my new tail. And I also use it to lightly highlight, but like I said, it's very similar to our skin tone, so we don't have like a crazy highlighted brow. It's more just to add a bit of that lift and to give you a bit of a guide. Just tap it in with your finger. Again, we are just mapping where our new tail is going to go and putting the bulk of the coverage right on top of that tattoo. Obviously, if you don't have microblading, you don't have to do this step. This is an unnecessary step for lots of people. For those of us who plucked our eyebrows off when we were 10, didn't have any eyebrows, got our brows tattooed on, you know, we live and we learn. It is what it is. But I don't regret my brow tattoo because it means that when I don't have makeup on, I still have a brow. But I do just need to make sure I put a lot of coverage on it because otherwise it does look like a bruise. And now I have weird little short brows. If I am actually going for like a 10-minute base, then I'll just use the microblading. I won't do all of this. Obviously when I'm talking, my makeup takes longer, but it is actually really, really quick. I'm gonna use my Rose setting powder from Laura Mercier, and I haven't been using a puff. I've literally just been going in with a brush and I just tap under my eye. I'm not baking, I'm literally pressing the powder in and kind of sweeping it away as I go. So it's all set in place, but it's not like a crazy heavy bake. I don't use even a fraction of how much powder I used to use. Also setting between my brows, making sure that the concealer at the tail is really well set. I sweep it over my lids, my chin, my smile lines. I'm back on brow pencils because they are the quickest way of throwing on a brow. The NYX Micro Brow Pencil, I use the shade Brunette. So for the brow, I find my natural arch, which is here, and then I extend the tail from the natural arch. So it just looks like a straighter brow, and I basically just draw a little triangle at the end so that it looks like a finished brow, but just like higher. So this is where my brow would have ended, and this is where it ends now. It is so much more lifted. It makes such a difference. And also because it's thicker, it makes my whole brow look fuller and bushier. And then like I always do, a few little front hairs. And I leave the body of the brow natural. I don't put anything in the body of the brow. I probably do in total like 10 strokes. I have a weird little gap here that I do just fill in. Of course, this may not be for everyone. You may hate this. You may hate how I've done my brows at the moment. My boyfriend, I think, hates it. But I don't care. Okay, I think it looks cool, especially when I like slick my hair back. It just gives me like an absolute facelift. It's great. Now we set. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. My Benefit 24-hour brow set is the best brow gel. Because I use soap, you've got to set your soap in place because obviously soap is not waterproof. So this will hold your brows in place, but it also means that if it rains, if you sweat, your soap isn't going to get suddy on your face. It will just keep your brows set in place. And this brow routine is not going anywhere. Trust me. Trust me. I will go in and touch up the tail at the very end using my NYX brow pen. But for now, brows are done. And I know that looked time consuming, but honestly, it's so quick. I just think they are a cool brow. Like a bushy, thick, chunky, lifted, foxy brow. Of course, I've got to use my Benefit Hoola for my Project 10 pan, and I use this so lightly these days. I just take a like fluffy brush and I use this just to set my bronzer contour hybrid, like super softly. It's such a good shade to add a contour to your face, and I really just buff it in. And then I also whack that through my crease and just extend it right out, and it just again helps to add to that like lifted look. It doesn't even really look like eyeshadow, it's more like an eye contour. It just brings that colour from your cheeks onto your eyes and makes your whole face look cohesive and gives you some shape and some definition to your eyes. I also blend it up and over that front of the brow to soften it. A new step and the final step before I spray my face, I add Hoola Glow from Benefit. It's their shimmery bronzer. I just use a really fluffy brush and a super light amount of Hoola Glow Oh, I went a bit heavy-handed there. Because I want my whole face to look radiant. It adds colour, but it also adds shimmer. And this is a huge change in my routine. I never used to like a shimmery bronzer, but it just makes such a difference to how radiant and bronzed you look. But it still means it's like long lasting because it's a powder. So I just put this on my cheeks and my foreheads. My 5 heads. I have been struggling to finish my 10 pan palette because I've actually just been taking Hoola Glow on my lid and I blend it into the Hoola bronzer, but it's such a light colour, but it adds a little bit of shimmer in like such a natural way. It adds shape, definition to your eye, but also a little bit of glow. Really soft and subtle, and oh, it's so nice. Warms up your eyes without really looking like you're wearing eyeshadow, because I don't wear winged liner anymore. I used to be a winged liner girl every day. Don't wear wing liner anymore. I literally just use this all over the lid. Great work, everyone. Time to spritz our face. I've been loving the Urban Decay All Nighter Extra Glow. This has the longevity of the All Nighter, but it's like a radiant finish. It doesn't have shimmer in it. It's just dewy. It's great. I douse myself in this. And then just let that dry. Because I've used, you know, quite a few powders, this is just gonna add that skin-like finish back to your skin. Get rid of that powdery look. I don't wanna look like I've got loads of powder on my skin. I want to look fresh and glowy. So you need to absorb all of that powder into a dewy setting mist. So let me just let this dry and then we'll finish the face. We are really nearly done. Onto the thing that's gonna make my skin look like glass. The Espresso Glassy Blush by the Glass Balm. So this is clear, but you can see on the lid that it's kind of changed color a bit. This turns pink when you put it on your skin, and it is magic. I take literally the teeniest little bit and I put this on the high points of my cheeks. Can you see that? This sits nicely on top of powders, which is amazing, but it helps when you've like sprayed your face. So I do it after my setting spray, just so there's a little bit of moisture. And this, you can put as much on as you want and it will make the most beautiful natural flush of color. Because it's a gloss, it adds this amazing sheen and it lasts all day. Stunning. And I put it super high, to add that lift, like that kind of lifted cheek, but also so that the glow is on the top of your cheekbone and it adds like an amazing base for highlight. This also looks gorgeous on its own, like with no foundation on. If you just want to add a bit of color to your cheeks. This is the thing that is making my skin look so radiant. Why I think so many people have been very sweet and commenting on it, because it just makes my skin look naturally healthy and glowy, and because it adjusts to your skin, it is such a flattering color on everyone. Honestly, this is a game changer. It's the only blush I've been wearing. Look at that. If I want more, I'll put more on. I actually like to put a powder blush underneath it and then put this on top, and it just makes the most stunning glowy base. And you can see it just added back that luminosity to my skin. It's so good. Now, I've been back on my freckle game. The Lottie London Freckle Tin is the perfect way to make natural looking freckles. If I come close, so all you do is some dots, and then you just take your finger, and I do this over the blush. It just looks so natural. Adding freckles makes such a difference to how natural your makeup can look, because it looks like your makeup is sheer enough for freckles to show through. But sometimes I make them look less natural. Sometimes I want it to be like a look, you know, faux freckles. But because of the color of this product and because it's like a liquid, it's really thin, it means you can go really, really natural. And freckles are meant to be kind of random. You don't want to be drawing them in like a straight line, and you don't want them all to be the same size and uniform, because freckles aren't uniform. And you can bring them low down. I like to bring them kind of lower on my cheeks because that's where freckles would naturally go. I focus them mostly on my nose though, because that's where I would naturally get freckles. You can also bring them up onto your temples if you want. Let's finish this skin. So I'm going to take the Rare Beauty Mesmerize Highlight, which is absolutely incredible. I've just not wanted to use anything else. It's a powder that looks like a cream because of how smooth and glowy it is. So you barely want any, you just take the smallest amount. And because we've already got that glow, it sticks so nicely to this blush. So I just pop it right on the top of the cheekbone and just really softly diffuse it. and I put quite a lot on my forehead. Having a glowy forehead is just my favourite thing at the moment. Woo! Top lip. And then I take it on a smaller brush, and I love a highlighted brow bone, and it also helps, again, hide my microblading. Just add a gorgeous glow under that brow. So when the light hits, you've got like a C. And I've now really started highlighting here between the brow. It makes you look so glowy. Always got to highlight that nose. Also, of course, the inner corner of the eye. I never skip this step. The glow, the glow. Ah, and that is the base done. So I'm gonna spray one more time. Let me let this dry and then we'll finish the face. Yay! Now the setting spray has dried. Look at the base. Look at the base. I look bronzed, but I look sculpted, but I look fresh and glowy, but there's just the right amount of coverage. It's nothing crazy. I'm just obsessed with this base. It's literally just the only base I've been wearing day and night. I'm just gonna touch up the end of the brow slightly where it's kind of faded a little bit. I'm gonna line my lips with Hot Gossip from Charlotte Tilbury. And then my everyday lip color is currently the Fenty Beauty Slip Shine in the shade 05 Glazed. I love this because it's basically a lip balm. It's like zero effort. Don't have to think about it, and you can touch it up so easy throughout the day. And it's really hydrating, and it kind of looks like a gloss and a lipstick at once. Glazed is the slightly deeper, more natural color, but I also really like the shade Make Outbreak, which is slightly lighter. Put that on top, I guess. Obsessed with these. These are the perfect everyday lip color. Perfect, so good. And then I've literally just been wearing mascara on my top lashes, so no liner, nothing, and nothing on my lower lash line. I'm keeping it clean. I'm gonna use my Bad Gal Bang from Benefit, curl those lashes. If I'm in a rush or if I'm like going to the gym, I'll wear one coat. If I want my lashes to look longer, I'll wear two. Also, if I am going to the gym, then I'll do basically everything the same, except I won't put the pump of the NARS foundation in. I'll just use the glow products. It's just the right amount of coverage, but it doesn't feel heavy at all. Not that this feels heavy, this is so lightweight. I'm back in love with this mascara, guys. I love it, but you do want to make sure you've got something on your lid, like a powder on your lid. It's also why I've not been wearing much concealer or foundation on my lids as well, because this does transfer, but it makes my lashes look amazing, so it's about making it work for you. I was loving my Urban Decay mascara, but it's run out. Very sad, so I'm not going to be able to repurchase that for a long time. And that doesn't transfer at all, and nothing on the lower lash line. I'm just loving how that's looking, like really clean. Now, usually at the moment, I would slick back my hair into a slicked back pony. I literally washed my hair yesterday and I want to style it tonight. Like, I want to curl it, so I'm not going to slick it back. I feel like it really just finishes off the vibe. And there you have it. That is the look, the base, the products that you guys have been asking me about so much. I have straight up been looking the same every single day for weeks now. I just do this makeup. I know I can do it in 15-20 minutes, bash it out super quick, and just know that I'm gonna look fine. I think the addition of the glowy bronzer and that blush is 100% the game changer, as well as the brows and not doing mascara on my lower lash line. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you found it helpful. I hope it answered some of the questions you've been asking me about my makeup at the moment. I'm really glad you've been liking it. I've been loving it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have the best day ever, and I will see you very, 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 very soon for another video. Bye!